I want to just pause and I want to take the time to share a beautiful testimonial if we're all good. Are we all good? Awesome. Okay, so I want to introduce this lovely gentleman, who is a dear friend of mine, and we met him a few years ago, I think, I can't remember how long it's been. It feels like it's been a lot longer, but he came into our office quite some time ago, and he was just like me, very resistant to the patches at first. And I think his lovely wife is with him. Is that who's with you? Um, and he was told that he was going to start patching. And so I just want to give him the floor to share his absolutely beautiful testimonial here. And yeah, Michael, you can have the floor and you are welcome to share into this beautiful group of people so we can celebrate your story.
Hi, everyone. Um, well, my background, I was a paramedic, did fire rescue, worked in the ER, worked in the OR, did forensic autopsies. And I've been in the medical field around a lot of doctors, and I've always held the line that, if your doctor says to do this, this is what you're supposed to do. This is the pill your doctor gives you. This is the pill you're supposed to take. So started that. And when Dr. Kayla and Dr. Anthony brought the patches to the office, it's very reluctant. It's like, come on, how are you going to just throw a sticker on and you're going to be all hunky dory for the rest of your life? It's like, I've got stickers on my car. Does that count too? So, I mean, come on, it's a sticker. But um, with that, you know, my wife and Gina picked up a couple of them, and I put one on, and of course I wasn't magically healed and walking on water that night. So I was like, it's at least I can take a pill and feel the effects, right away. So, but with pills, you take this for this reason, and then of course that has side effects. So you have to take this pill for that, and then this pill for those side effects, and now taking 11 different pills for different issues. Well, it started because 8 years ago I donated my kidney, and after that I ended up having surgery on my shoulder. Then I had complications from the kidney donation, had to have another surgery. They didn't finish everything with my shoulder, so they had to go back. And they didn't finish everything with the complication surgery, so I had another surgery after that. So 5 surgeries within a 2-year span. I just didn't have time for my body to recover. They think that specifically why, but it kicked off lupus and a clotting disorder. Um, so lifelong blood thinners, lifelong pain medications, and just a bunch of different things. See, I can't remember, about 2 years ago, um, something like that. No, a year and a half, sorry, had a long history of diverticulitis. And the last bout I had with it was pretty bad. Um, Actually, I had one that ruptured and I bled out one night. Woke up just bleeding, uncontrolled. Got up and basically just hit the floor. Spent like almost 2 weeks in the hospital. Blood transfusions. I mean,
It was rough.
just a rough bunch of stuff. So doctor was like, okay, well, we got to go in, got to take that section out, and then you'll be all good. Well, because of the kidney donation, I had too much scar tissue, so they couldn't do it laparoscopic. They had to cut me open. Well, that was horrific in and of itself. And the kidney donation was a breeze compared to that. But a week after I got home, I felt a tear in my stomach, and I know my body very, very well. I also have a background in forensic autopsies, so I've been inside the body. I know how it works, and I knew right away I had a hernia. Had a CT, had another surgery. They put mesh in. A week after I got home, I felt another tear, and but this one was just kept going completely across my stomach, um, horizontally. Um, so called my surgeon, said, "Hey, I know I have another hernia. Um, we need to get another CT and see what's going on." So of course now insurance is like, no, there's no proof that it's like, well, you need a CT to find out. So I was just in constant pain, just any movements, any sort of twisting or bending over was just literally, because of the nature of it, I felt like my stomach was ripping apart. So that's when I was like, oh, what the heck? Let's Gina went and ordered the big pack for me. And she was like, here you go. And I trust her. I trust God in her. And so I was like, okay, let me slap some patches on. I didn't know how, what, where, or how. I just know you took the back off and slapped it on. um, and well, see, the first week the pain was already dissipating from my stomach. Um, Now that that was starting to calm down, I was starting to feel the pain in my back, which is one of the reasons I was coming to see Dr. Anthony and Dr. Kayla, for the chiropractic care. But finding out that my lower lumbar L5 was slipping forward and putting pain on my knee, down my outside of my left leg. Um, so I was feeling that even more now that my stomach was okay, the pain was going away enough that I can just get through the day, without taking pain medicine. But my wife, her mom had a birthday, family gathered around me, prayed for me. At that point, gosh, probably 80, 85% of the pain, everything was just gone. But there was that still burning down the leg, lack of sensation, just a lot of numbness on the outside of my left leg. So consistently patching with the X39 and Eon. Um, I didn't know with LifeWave that there's two types of patches. So I was just grabbing one, slap it on, grab one, slap it on. Didn't know you do twice, two of them, but now I know. Um, but I started putting them one on one side, the white on the right, and then the tan on the left, right on both sides of where my L5 vertebrae is. And about 2 weeks after that, the rest of the pain is almost completely gone. That I have sensation back in my left thigh. There's just a very light little bit, almost like when you wake up and there's a little bit of sleep where you're on the nerve a little bit. There's still that there, but I don't have the burning that I was having. I don't have the sharp pains. That was just like lightning bolts going down my leg. So, I mean, I can't say enough. That's someone used to say. It's like, well, yeah, I don't know the surgery, the science behind it, but I just know it works. This is just what you got to do. So, you know, having that medical background and being a researcher, I was a coroner's investigator, so I want to know everything. So I've been coming to the meetings, coming to the meetings at the office, and honing in on everything Dr. Kayla is saying as a scientist. And so it's like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I get it. I got it. Okay, that's so cool. Now I know the science behind it, and that it's real science. It's not just hey, we're just saying this to sell a sticker, at a crazy price. What price do you put on having sensation back in your leg? You're not having lightning down. You're not having, a blowtorch to the outside of my leg anymore. Not having the pain in my back, not having pain in my stomach, and having to go back for even more surgeries. I know with mesh, you just end up in just a cycle of surgeries after that. What price can you put on feeling like I have my life back? I can do stuff. I think just you can't put a price on that. And it's just as the scientist and as a believer and just all of it. I know this is God working to get me whole the way He designed me, and being able to use something that I'm not putting medication in my body. And with the patches, there's no transdermal medicine going in. There's no medicine period. It's just the reflection of the light going back in. And so, okay, well, if you think, in um, the police background, I mean, you have infrared vision to be able to see people, in the dark and the helicopters. And obviously, it's because we're giving off heat, we're giving off light. Well, if you take that and reflecting it back in the body, you're just continuing the healing that God designed us to do. Now I'm taking from going from 11 medications to 5. I mean, that's I'm trying to get off this. Yeah, and I'm working to get off some of the ones that are the heavier duty, like Lyrica. I'm if I miss one dose of Lyrica, I would go crazy. I just feel I couldn't sleep and do anything. So slowly, very slowly coming off of that, just not to totally disrupt my body, but using some of the auxiliary patches like the X49, the uh, Alavita for sleep, and I'm balancing and knowing how to use LifeWave now. um, because of lupus, you know having had pain constantly, and especially if I have a flare up. About 2 weeks ago, I started noticing my cheeks were getting real. I know I'm Irish, but they were getting a lupus rash, and just my joints locking up. But started using the ice wave, the white on the bottom of my right foot and the tan on the bottom of my left foot for just overall balance. Within the week, that flavor was gone. So just back to feeling me. I mean, it makes me just emotional just being through hell for the last 8 years and then finding something that isn't disrupting my body, isn't changing who I am, and just give me the freedom to do what I want to do, feel how I'm supposed to feel, and not having residual effects of this medication or that, or the cross of the two, and you have to balance those out, and then take this. So it was just insane. Now, it takes me 45 seconds to throw, my my specific patches that I know that work for me, for my body, and the placements of them. You you have the guidelines that's in the pamphlets, but being able to, knowing the science behind it. Okay, well, if I put it here on this vital point, it's helping me. I mean, it may not help everyone for that specific spot for this specific patch, but for me, it does. So I can't say enough about them. I'm just very thankful and very blessed that this was brought into my life, and I know there's a reason for it. So that's that.
Yay. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know, gosh, this one's very special to my heart. I wish everybody can have seen and met you in amidst all of the healing crisis that you were going through. I mean, I remember It was, yeah, it was probably 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years ago when you and your whole family walked into our office, and I remember it was funny. I'm not in full-time practice anymore, and I was just there the first day we met them, and it's just kind of been a divine intervention that every time that I'm there, they're there, or I'm covering for my husband, and it just turned into this beautiful experience. And so, yeah, Mike has been there every single Monday learning and listening to testimonials in person in our office. And I'm just so glad we have this on recording now because it's so beautiful and it's such a beautiful story
Uh,
to light the way for others. And that's what I think is most important. I mean, we could talk about the science, we could talk about all those things which are really important, but the biggest thing is hearing people's stories. And I want to reiterate this because, Mike is not someone who was outside of the medical system. I think it's hard sometimes for us to reach people inside of the medical system like Mike because there's so much just expectation or ease in taking a pill and fixing something, but then it's just this conundrum of more pills, more pills, more pills, more fixing. And so I really wanted to share this story because I know for certain there's already people literally direct messaging me saying, "Can I share this with someone that I know will relate to this story?" Because you don't typically hear these stories all the time, um, outside of patching, right? You don't hear these situations in the holistic world of like full reversal and healing and just literally putting the light back inside of you. So I know your story is going to be a huge light for others. So anything that you want to share, kind of last words with anyone who is skeptical or just like looking for a last glimmer of hope, what would you say to someone?
I mean, just am I? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, just just do it. I mean, I was so reluctant. I mean, just so yeah. I mean, it's just to have such a easy thing to do and have your life back. I mean, I have been in martial arts since I was 6 years old. I'm 53. I mean, when I stopped just before I donated my kidney, and into powerlifting and bodybuilding and just doing personal training with, and going in home and teaching kickboxing. Um, was a personal trainer for Amy Wood on Channel 7. I mean, just, yeah, I was pretty well known. I've been to almost every gym in Spartanburg, and training, and just having, I was always, always, always active and just doing something very, very rough for my body, very harsh on my body. But, and then to doing nothing, not being able to just, you know, hang around with the kids or, yeah, walk across the house without feeling like my joints are just going to lock down and rust. It's like finding the Tin Man, rusted in the forest. That's kind of how I felt day after, went to Top Golf, and my body was just wrecked for a week. After that, had a blast, but not after that. But feeling like I can do stuff now. I mean, I go to my son's wrestling. I've got a backpack and heavy, full, gigantic lenses and cameras, and you know, going up and down the bleachers, and like, let's go. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, I go, running errands or cooking or cleaning or whatever. Just living my life like God wanted me to do, and I'm not having to take a bunch of medicine that I wholeheartedly believed in before, and I know for a lot of people that's all they can do. But knowing that there's something else that I don't have to take a medicine for, and I don't have to take these three medicines because they, each have a little contraindication for each other, and this compounds, issues, with my stomach, um, pain medications, and medication for chronic migraines since I was earlier than I was 9 years old, as far as I can remember. Um, having five five to six migraines a month, that would put me down for a day or two or even longer. And being able to put, ice wave on my trigger points, the back of my neck, and feel better without having to throw down 4 Tylenols and, another migraine medication. So, I need to come off of 6 different medications I don't have to take anymore that aren't causing issues in my body anymore, that aren't fighting me, my true self and my psychological well-being to get me balanced, literally balanced, just the way that God intended me to be, and making me a better husband, a better father, being able to be present, not having to take a medication because I don't feel well, or sorry, babe, I've got to go lie down for a little while because I hurt so bad. And especially when those flares came up, I mean, there's no words to describe how you feel with them. I mean, it's just like you got run over by a truck. And now I don't feel like that. I don't have those flare ups. The flare up was like 3 or 4 days. I mean, and then gone, instead of 3 or 4 weeks. So it's just do it. I mean, you, you don't have anything to lose except pain, except, you know, gastrointestinal issues with, you know, I mean, just so much. It's just like with, you know, not to get too graphic, but with taking all the different pain medications and stuff, it slows down your digestive system. And of course, that slows down for me having a history of diverticulitis that causes issues and then end up, having a diverticulitis flare up. Then that feels like a knife in your gut. And well, gee, you have to take all these new medications now, or, oh, sorry, but we're going to have to go back in and cut out another foot of your intestine. So it's like, no, no, I can take 45 seconds and put all my different patches on, no medication. My body's functioning how it's supposed to be and getting toxins out of my body and just to feel good every day. I mean, yeah, there's life external stress, but there's a patch for that too. you know, I mean, it's, when I do feel that stress, throw like the carnosine or something on and, do that for every other day or so. And then that even subsides. I'm just starting on the glutathione now. Today's the first day of doing that. So there's no testimony yet of that. But I know in my mind, because I know the psychology of it and I know the science of it, that it's going to help me. And
Mhm.
I just know that because the other ones do. So,
Awesome. Thank
yeah.
you so much. This is so beautiful. I'm so glad that you were able to hop on tonight. And thank you so much for sharing. And yes, everybody that's I have like 10 messages. Are we gonna be able to share this? Do you give us permission to share this, Mike?
Yes, I do. Like
Okay.
I'm not, the great orators of the world, but I know when there's something that I know has helped me come from the hell that I was living through, on a daily basis, and not being me, not being who I am at my core, not being the husband I want to be, not being the father I want to be, not being a provider for my home, and then feeling like, okay, I'm back on it. I could do this. I can get through the day without popping pills to feel better, which, in the long run never did make me feel better because once that comes down and then it's back to hurting or,
Mhm.
now I have more of or a headache or whatever because, it masked the pain and it never got to the root cause of what was causing the issues. And with the X39 and the Eon, I know, those are regenerating the stem cells that are going to where I need them in my body. stem cells being able to, it's one of the great keys of the body to be able to make themselves into what your body needs.
Mhm.
And feeling that happening in my body, I don't feel like I'm 21 being 53, but I just don't feel like I'm 53 at all. I can't even get my head around that number, but I don't feel that. I felt more like I was 93, 3 months ago. But now, I can get up, I can function and get through my day and get through my night and be okay.
Awesome.
So,
I'm so excited for you. And I'm so thankful to Gina sitting next to you for saying, just wear the patches. Just wear the patches. His beautiful
yes.
wife said, just wear them. He's going to just wear them. I'm going to buy them. And thank God she did.
Mhm.
So thank you both for being on here tonight. And I will make sure to send you guys this story too, so you can share it with people in your community that you want to love on. But thank you so much. And I know we took a lot of time for this incredibly meaningful testimonial. So we're just going to save this one and savor this one and not do any other testimonials tonight because this was so beautiful. And I'm just going to field some questions now. Oops, I muted myself. I want to come into the chat some of the questions that have been put in there. Let me get this running back to where. See my screen going. All right, perfect. So a couple things that came in. This is a great testimonial for those skeptics out there, which it is. Someone asked what's a good source to purchase the patches from. And I understood 5 to 6 months is a good period to try to see a difference. Okay, so go back to the person who sent you the invite to this, and they can help get you patches, number one. And number two, like I said in the beginning of the presentation, it is so important to just find a rhythm and a consistency with this. So while I don't know how old you are or what your health experiences are, I really just would love to invite you to, I think Dr. Manisha said below, patch for a year. You don't know what's going to change. You don't know what your potential is. We have stories like Mike, who has been patching for about 3 months now, just newly 3 months, and has had just a beautiful shift in vital energy and noticing things changing. There are some people, though, depending on how long you've been experiencing things, what your body needs to heal in its highest priority and intensity first, it can take sometimes 30, 60, 90 days for you to notice something. But again, that doesn't mean it's not working. So for me, I've been patching for 2 years. I have no intention to ever stop patching because we're not treating anything with the patches. We're allowing that vital source energy inside of us to help facilitate healing and activate our stem cells via our own light. And that way we're able to actually heal and regenerate. And so for me, this is just like brushing my teeth. And I think Mike would agree to that. This is just like another regular, and I know I'm nodding her head. She absolutely agrees with this. And so when you have something that becomes a part of your daily practice, just like mindfulness, just like prayer, just like meditation, whatever you're doing, it becomes a part of who you are. And this is what I find across the board for myself, my family, my patients, all the testimonials we've heard on here, those that get on time and time again and attend these things, it just becomes a part of who you are because we can't prevent conflict or adaptation from happening to us in life, right? So we have to have the best tools to prepare for when conflict happens or when health expression happens. And this is a great way to optimize that and have these tools on hand for that. So I invite you to the 12 months minimum, no matter how old you are. And I would say I mean, honestly, if you change anything once a day for 365 days, you're going to see massive changes. So when you add this on, it's going to change so beautifully. So I know we had a lot of guests on here tonight. I want to just throw this on the screen before we finish up here to make sure everybody gets their opportunity. If you are a guest here tonight, this is the first time attending, someone loved on you, wanted you to hear this beautiful information and this amazing testimonial tonight, go ahead and there it is. drop me an email with your name, your mailing address, and who invited you, and I will get you some X39 samples to you for you to experience them and just notice what changes. And I will say, in a 3-day patch sample experience, you may be a one patch wonder. That's our hope for everybody, meaning you put the patch on and everything goes away. It does happen. Most people are not, though, and that's okay because healing takes time, consistency, energy, and yeah, just a total health paradigm shift. So what you will notice in that 3-day span of X39 patches is something feels different. That is consistent across the board. You feel like you have something different. You feel like you're tapped into some type of energy source, and you just feel like typically when you don't have that patch on day 4, how did I notice that that hadn't changed everything? Everything goes back to how it was, and it's much different than what you experienced in that 3-day trial. So if you want some patches, you've never been here before, and you are in the United States, please make sure you drop me your information at this email, and I would love to help you. So I just want to save the last couple of minutes. Any other questions? I think there's a new message that came in. Let's see. Ah, yes. Okay, perfect. So if anybody have any other questions or want to share anything, any insights, you're welcome to drop it in the chat, send me a direct message personally, unmute yourself and share anything. Anyone? Anyone? All right. Y'all are a quiet group today. Last week we carried on for 20 minutes afterwards. Awesome. Well, I know we had a beautiful testimonial and we did not get to go over the support patches today, but I invite you to check out our team YouTube channel. I go over all of them there. If you are wanting to start patching, please get in touch with that person. Like Mike said, and everybody that's on here that's patching, I know will agree. You literally will have your life changed in one way or another, and you have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Even if you are patching for health reason or for wellness, that you don't think you have anything going on, you are still a beautiful candidate to tap into even more. Tiffany, I saw your camera come on. What do you have to say, my love?
I don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, I have an amazing testimonial from a friend with
Please
her.
share. This is Dr. Tiffany, everybody. This is a great testimonial to also share on this call because it would really be really, really beautiful now that you reminded me of it. So this is Dr. Tiffany. She is a
Hello.
beautiful friend of mine who started patching with me over a year ago, and her testimonials are on our team YouTube page. But this testimonial also equally great. So go.
Yes, so I have a friend that I introduced the patches to back in December now, and she started using the patches because of her dad. Her dad had stage 4 prostate cancer, and he was in the process of, I think it was every 3 months that he was going in just to get his numbers checked and having whatever treatments they were doing for him. And right before December, he went in for his checkup, and his numbers had increased to a point where they said, okay, we need to start looking at other options here. You need to probably go to Johns Hopkins, search around for experimental trials that we can get you into, because at this point we really have nothing else left that we can do for you. So after that visit is whenever she introduced the patches to him. She only started with the X39 patch because he was also very hesitant and skeptical about it all. And that was really the only thing that she could get him to do, was at least put one patch on every single day. So he started with the X39 in December. He really didn't start to notice a whole bunch of shifts and changes, except for he said he noticed a little bit more energy throughout the day and little things like that. So whenever his numbers increased, they stopped from going every 3 months for checkups to now going every month for a checkup. So when he started patching in December, it was a month after that that he had to go in for another checkup. His numbers dropped from, I don't know all of the specific numbers that they check and everything, but from what she said, his numbers back in December were at 1.1, which was a lot of cause for concern for them. When he went in January for his follow-up after just 1 month of patching, it dropped from 1.1 to 0.2. And his doctors were completely shocked. They said this never happens like without doing some sort of treatment, but whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And they were kind of saying it was just a fluke of numbers and that sort of thing, like not really you know, saying, oh yeah, what you're doing is helping, just kind of like, well, keep doing what you're doing, you know, we'll see you back here. They allowed him to go back to the 3 months between checkups now. And he never ended up starting any of the experimental trials or anything. He just continued with the patching. And then it was probably about a month ago now that he went back in for a second checkup, and his number dropped from 0.2 down to 0.1. And the doctors are saying that it's pretty much barely even detectable now, like barely even detectable that he has any cancer. And he went from a stage 4 prostate cancer to now the doctor saying this is barely detectable, and they are just completely mind blown that that big of a shift happened without him even doing a clinical trial or anything like that, after they were at the point of saying, we really have nothing else left that we can do to help you with this. So I was very excited about that. And I'll try to reach out and see if I can get her to hop onto one of these calls one week so that she can personally share it, or maybe even have her dad join her and have both of them on to share, but I'll share it for now.
Awesome. I was answering some questions in the comments that were coming into me. So yes, thank you. I love that testimonial. She shared that in I think you shared that in one of the Facebook groups or on Facebook. And it was, yeah, I mean, this is not something, it might be new for you to hear who've been here tonight, but this is not something new to us in the patch community. Our body has such great power and potential to heal. And yeah, why not tap into it for yourself? You never know what will happen when your own light gets reflected back into your body and is able to facilitate the beautiful gift of healing that we were created to all experience. So, if anyone does have any questions, if you don't have anybody, you showed up here tonight, no one referred you here, you were just here by divine order, please send me an email and I will find you somebody to patch with. Send me an email, we will connect you if you don't have a referral with somebody so that you could get your patches. Any questions that you do have, feel free to connect back to that person that sent you here tonight. They could get in touch with me and be more than happy to help you and them find answers and solutions, and also patch protocols and recommendations for you to get started. As always, we're here every single Wednesday, so you're welcome to come back time and time again and hear more testimonials, learn more about the science, and understand and answer any questions that you may have. So have a beautiful evening, everyone. And those of you that are patchers, even if you're not patching and you want this information, David Schmidt, CEO, inventor, and founder, is going live again tonight in just a half hour. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can do the conversions with your time zones, but it's in 30 minutes to talk about 3 patches, specifically Energy Enhancer, Carnosine, and Silent Night, moving into the summer season. How these are really great for fitness, recovery, active recovery, changing your fat, metabolism, metabolics, with just honestly minimal exercise shifts. So it was a really beautiful call, focusing on the power that literally innately exists inside of us to be able to make really big health advancements with really small, manageable, tolerable changes as we move through adding movement and these practices into our body. And those of you that don't know David Schmidt, he is like the modern day Nikola Tesla of our time, just a beautiful gift to humanity in his wisdom, knowledge, science, expertise. Yes, I will drop that to you. Let me see. Em, you want to help me out, Em? Do you have this link to drop in the comments? If not, I'll take a minute to find it. Let's see where it's at. I think I posted it in our group. Let me find it. Give me a second. Oh, here it is. Beautiful. Here you go. Everybody can grab it from here.
It's in my WhatsApp, and I don't have my WhatsApp on my computer.
Okay. I got it. I got it. Thank you.
Yay!
Awesome. All right, cool. It's in the, everybody make sure before we close out, make sure you copy that link. It starts at 9 p.m. Open it up to try to get in the waiting room. There's like 1,000-person limit to the webinar. So they always max out. So if you want it, open it, load it, and just let it queue up. It'll get ready here to launch at 9 o'clock. So
I
enjoy.
watched it this morning, and it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect. You all have a beautiful night. We'll catch you next week. See y'all later.